Okay. Where to start? Where to start? So, took about a week to let the community go at each other because of the update that came out that kinda divided the community and I would say caused a lot of back and forth. Those being get good, bro. Skill issue. I genuinely would like to see receipts from some of these people that's saying that. That I think it's just people trolling. But with the update, initially I was one of the first ones that just a little upset by it, like especially with the railgun, and it wasn't because of some brainless option to go with. It was just the most efficient option, literally. And uh this is coming from a hell dive point of view, like me having my experience in hell dive difficulty. I take it as the harder you get, the harder you get, or the higher you go in tiers, the playstyles become more rigid. You're gonna want to pick something that's the most efficient with getting charges out of the way. You're gonna pick something more efficient with dealing with Bio Titans and keeping them in check before being overwhelmed. Same goes for main weapons. I just think a good number of them need, or all need to be buffed up. Sidearms can just be sidearms. That's fine. It's gonna always be the auto pistol for me. But if you choose the Magnum, that's fine too, especially with fighting bots and trying to work on your precision shots. But what's another one? But the railgun may have been slightly heavy-handed when it comes to the so-called nerf. You could have just called it a tweak and wouldn't have been that hard. Just a slight tweak. Now, right now, after playing with it, I would say it's fine. I mean, I've never played with it in without the safety on. I've never played with it without the safety on, and literally edging that sucker, you're pretty much edging the railgun the entire time. And what I mean by that is you're gonna get that sucker literally to the point where just you're gonna commit suicide and you're gonna blow your damn arms off at that point. And with further testing with a friend of mine, it also slightly depends on how good your connection is. Because if let's say you have a below average connection or maybe below decent, below average, you're gonna consistently blow yourself up in that regard every time. And now, from firsthand account of just seeing that happen in Hell Dive, what we're gonna need, especially when you don't want to really waste reinforcements. So, and then learning that, after learning that the damage, what am I trying to say? This is gonna be off the top, but after playing this past week, I've noticed that the damage with a lot of these weapons are highly inconsistent. And I've done some after digging through YouTube and trying to see if anybody has anything to say about that. And lo and behold, it is another bug that not even the devs even know about, which is tied to it. It depends on what character. I mean, not what character. it depends on it depends on the type of player that's in the squad. And what I mean by that is, say for instance, you have a PS5 player in your squad. For some odd reason, it messes with the damage profiles of all the weapons, especially the power weapons. And you're gonna and it's gonna be times where You're gonna be questioning like, huh, that was easy. You took out this Bio Titan in one hit or maybe two from the rail gun, maybe even one from the rail gun, or maybe you one shot it coming out of a bug breach. It it come to find out it's because of who is in your squad. Now, say for instance that person gets timed out or leaves, then the damage changes. From now it goes from one tap, two tap to like 20, like somewhere a little over 20 shots from a railgun just to down one Bio Titan, or the spear going from or the spear, for example, going from maybe 1 to 2 shells to, okay, now he's gonna basically eat your whole pack and maybe save you one shell just to take it out. Or now you have to waste your orbitals, or I would say the rail cannon orbital, which is one of my favorites. And you're trying to keep that in your back pocket for, like, say, charges, but it's eating all the damage and everything. So it's like, okay, now you have to expend that. Now you have to wait. I think maybe a rollback, but then again, that's doing too much. So we just have to wait until further. I would say we just have to wait until like the next update drops. I know they're already getting swamped right now with how the community is just in a blaze right now. And then that one rogue dev didn't make it any easier, or didn't help. But I wanted to really respond back. I was like, just let it be. Just calm down. Constantly get mad and slinging insults, this, that, and the third is going to help anyone. And it's nice to see that the devs are actually communicating with the players, or even let alone playing with the players. And I think, really, me personally, I think that they should have dropped an update and buffed up everything. At least give it a try, or at least tell us that you at least went that route and see how the game played. Or I don't know. But I think the update, this past update, really should have just buffed up the low performing weapons, whether it be support weapons or just main weapons. For starters, the Liberator, I think should just do just a bit more damage, because I think it's weird that an SMG does more damage than an assault rifle. I think that's weird. I just think that's weird. 45 rounds, that's good. But the Liberator Penetrator, for some reason, it's good for the bugs that like to curl up and shield themselves before coming back out to chase you. I think you're really just wasting your time. It's a waste of a slot. But I have nothing against people that want to run that weapon. I really don't. If you want to run it, make the best of what you got. That's what I say. The Liberated Concussive, I don't know. I'm gonna have to really play with it, pick it up. If it does really good stun damage, or knockback, or stun effect, from what I've been reading from other people, cool. But I just think increase the capacity to where the base Liberator is. It would have been good. That would have been cool. The marksman rifles, I just don't know what they're supposed to be doing. I don't know. I really don't know. The marksman rifles should be retooled or reworked to handle medium armor. And I guess to both have 20, maybe 25, no, 20 rounds. Defender, good spot. The Punisher, this past update, really It was either going to be two things: either they increase the rate of fire, or they just make it hit like a truck, and that's exactly what it's doing right now. And it does. Basically, it is the best shotgun in the game right now, even over the breaker. The breaker, nothing really changed. All they did was take away three shells. Now you're gonna be reloading slightly faster. That's not a problem. Just switch it from full auto to semi-auto and just tap it, treat it as a pump action at that point. Bring down the rate of, just slow your rate of fire with it. It's still gonna be up top. The slugger, I would say, is just the slugger. It's great for precision gameplay against the bugs. How it fares against the automatons, I do not know. I do not know. You're better off using the defender, the liberator penetrator even, or the magnum. But when it comes to the bugs, the slugger is pretty good, especially when you're just going for limbs, to slow them down, to maim them, and then take them out. It's really solid against the annoying as hell brood commanders. It's really solid against that type of enemy. Birdshot, or excuse me, that's what it's chambered in, which is weird for a shotgun, especially when you're facing down enemies of Super Earth. You want to take a weapon that has birdshot for some reason against armored enemies. It's weird. Like, it's the weakest hitting of all the shotguns. Okay, it has 26 rounds. That's cool, but as far as doing DPS, you're not really gonna. It's nothing amazing. The break incendiary. You want a wider spread with fire, with pretty fireworks? Go have at it. And a slight damage over time, little tick. Hey, go for it. Hasn't been touched. It's pretty solid. Jar 5 Dominator. I am at a loss for words for what this thing is. I really think it should have been an LMG, a primary LMG. That way I won't have to waste a stratagem slot for either the machine gun or the Stalwart. I really think a nice LMG addition to the primary selection would be nice. The last 5 Scythe, I'm guessing if you want to cook on and kick around the little roaches that gnaw at your toes, or the ones that spit at you, cool. But once we start getting into the warriors and the medium armored enemies and up, I don't think I don't think it's a good choice. But what do I know? I'm pretty sure somebody will clue me in on how this weapon works. Now, as far as stratagems, let's start with the Eagles. S tier, hands down. Now, the specific ones that make it S tier has to be the Eagle Airstrike and the Cluster Bomb. Rocket pods, I'm thinking okay, it's gonna be like a wave of rocket pods raining down into a specific location to larger enemies. I thought that. No, it just comes down one time. That's it. You're one and done. Now you gotta wait. I just think that's no. 500 kg bomb. That sucker hit or miss. It could be a pretty ass light show that just increases. The probability of your game crashing, and all that hard work just went down the drain. That's just what happens. It's either gonna take out enemies in the area, or they're just gonna straight walk through it and have a minor fucking headache. I don't know. The update should have went towards tweaking some of these stratagems, or bringing the stratagems up to be effective. Like, for instance, the 500 kg bomb or the rocket pods. The orbitals take entirely too long and are highly inaccurate. Now, however, the 120 HE barrage It's able to consistently take out enemy nests or bot outposts when you're not trying to get too close, and give up, say, your position just in case. As soon as you get in an engagement with a bot, they instantly want to call a bot drop instead of shooting at you. Like, oh, I'm gonna just make it harder. We're calling a bot drop. Orbital laser, amazing against bots. Not so much even after the update. Not so much against bugs because again, it leans into the wonky damage and consistencies dealing with who is in your squad. For instance, the charger can just walk around and waddle around and just eat for like, I want to say, for like 40 seconds, 45 seconds, just straight eating it and just taking up the entire time that the orbital laser's on the field for one charge, and it's just eating it, just tanking it, not even worried about it. It's about to charge up and get ready for, get ready for a game of pin the tail on the Helldiver at that point. But it's weird because another bug with the charger is that its armor values increase and decreases if it misses its target for like a small window for some reason. So that's why you wondering why, like, this weapon doesn't normally just penetrate through its armor like that. That's why. The 380, that's good too for bigger bot outpost or bug nests. The orbital airburst is doing what the rocket pods are doing, but better, and it does it in ways in the area of the stratagem that the stratagem was tossed. So that's cool. The orbital walking barrage, I don't know. I'm not sure if it had a buff, but I just think just a tweak to the spread when it's walking from the stratagem forward. I just think a tighter spread with it would be amazing. It would be great. That's it. Orbital gas, what is that? What is that? Like, I tried using it. Maybe someone can correct me and say, oh, it's B, A tier, it's mid or high tier when it comes to getting rid of armored enemy or reducing the armor value, or outright stripping the armor away from armored enemies. Cool. I just think instead of gas, it should have been an acid strike, something like that. Something so we can. It's like should have been an experimental stratagem to where we took the acid from the Bio Titan or the nursery bugs, the big booty, the BBL bugs that like to spit on you or throw up on you, and repurpose that. Use that. That should have took the gas strike's place. So instead of just reducing the number on the armor value, it just strips it over time. I just think, and it just have exposed spots so you can do increased damage. That would have been nice. The orbital EMS strike, like I said, the charges are a little bugged out, and I think they should have been tweaked because you could get a hit on it, but don't. It'll go through the whole stun phase and do the little double stun phase. I know you Helldivers have seen it, and literally glide right out of the EMS field and just get right back to business. That is ridiculous. You're better off just taking the EMS mortar at that point, just throwing it away behind a hill, behind a rock, and just let it do its thing. Orbital smoke strike. Yeah, I don't know what you're smoking on. Who's ever wasting a slot with that when it comes to fighting the bots, but they don't seem to care. It's like they have client side, the whole little thing on Modern Warfare, to where it's like sometimes the enemy won't see the smoke, but when it comes to you, you just see a wall of smoke and you can't see, but they can see you. That's pretty much what the bot sees. They don't see nothing, whatever the hell it was. They're still gonna be on those rocket boys are still gonna be on your ass. The turrets and the incendiary mines. Well, no, I'm gonna just start with the turrets. All right, the turrets. Hell dive difficulty from experience. You better off tossing that thing into a position to where enemies can't easily get to it, on top of a hillside, a cliffside, on top of a big rock, something to give it some uptime that we can be able to do its thing without getting taken out or being a target for everything in the damn 5 mile radius. It's it's either, I would say, a few things. You have to, one, throw it down in a position where it has the advantage to be able to be effective. I have to kind of stand next to it so you can be further, so you can play defense for the defensive strategy. What I mean by that is against everything. So it's like you just pretty much become a magnet for everything, right? And that being said, for the petty ass charges that will do the double stun slide, electric fucking slide straight into your turret, whatever it may be. They could be getting kited by the Helldiver off to your far right. They will stop what they doing with that man and just turn around and waddle up to you into a position and then ram your shit over before it can do anything. Or getting sniped out by like maybe 2-3 Bio Titans that just like, you know what? I don't like turrets. So at that point it's like, okay, I don't think the AI or the enemy should be that damn petty to where they can just stop and destroy your ship in under, I would say, 20 seconds. No matter the position you try to put it in to give it a shot. The Tesla Tower, you better off running the arc thrower at that point. Like, that thing is good against roaches, but when it comes to root commanders and well, at least the little armored enemies and on up, you better off. You just, at that point, why? That thing serves to get you and your teammates killed more than anything. And this leads me to another idea that I had, that when you call down defense stratagems, they should at least have an active little, nothing too big, but an active icon when they're on the field to let people know, to let the other fellow Helldivers know that, hey, I got such and such defensive stratagem on the field. Be careful. It's right there. You can't miss it. Oftentimes, yeah, you could look at it, point it out, but it doesn't stay forever. And in the heat of the moment, you're gonna lose. The blip is gonna go away, and you're gonna forget that it's there. And then you're fighting, you're kiting, and then bam, it arced through a random roach or armored enemy or whatever, and straight one tap you or your Helldiver on the other side of it. That's just how it happens with the Tesla Tower. Shield generator relay, why? You better off getting the shield pack S tier. Generator, the relay, I think, should just massively increase the hit points to it, because that thing is like it's almost like a damn bubble, literally. And what I mean by that is it's like taking a damn fork to a damn bubble. That's it. That's what it feels like. It's like tissue paper. Enemies, one rocket boy can take it out with ease, and like one salvo, I think. That's it. The emplacement, hey, you want to live out your secret fantasies of, or you want to pretend you're in Gears of War with the Troika, just less powerful, go ahead, have at it. Maybe combo up your turrets with other stuff, but then again, like I said, you're going to be a big target for everything in the vicinity. Everything. They're going to stop what they're doing just to get you out the way because they see a defensive stratagem on the field. They don't care. It could be they could be 5 feet from the other Helldiver. They will turn around and take that out, whatever defensive it is. The mines, hey, the mines. And 9 times out of 10, you try to put it up in a good, you try to set it off in a good, try to lock down a certain position. It they'll walk right past the stratagem because one, you're most likely going to be doing 10 times out of 10. You're going to be dealing with increased stratagem cooldowns, increased stratagem plotting. They're going to walk right past it before it can get down and do its thing. Special weapons or support weapons. Now, the arc thrower have been low key. It hits. Nobody's ever had a problem with that. It's not all of a sudden they buffed it. It's always been good. It's just that these people are pretty much lending to a new. It's trying to start up a new meta. Like, okay, you. And I'm not saying all of you, but some of you shit on us because we used and called us brainlets because we use shield generator pack and railgun. Now, for my setup, it's always been the ammo pack because ammo is too ammo reserves for everything is just too short right now to be dealing with 50 to say 100 enemies on screen at once, and that's just regular patrols that just blip into existence and know where you're standing at all times and come straight to you. You run straight into the patrols or a bug breach, which is just gonna happen from any one of those sources. A bug breach coming from just a group of enemies just standing about in a field somewhere. It doesn't matter. Or the ones that's just been chasing you across the map, and it's just not enough ammo to be dished out in the name of liberty to your enemy. It's not enough. I think that ammo reserve buff to everything on the board, it would have been really would have been amazing. Now the machine gun, solid. I think the Starwood should have been a primary weapon, but that's probably too much like right. Let me just stop there. Anti-material rifle, amazing buff, amazing. I just picked it up, and it's really solid against the bots, the bot faction. Not so much against the bugs, but then again, you can use the arc thrower or the railgun still, even though it went from 2 shots, but then again, it's got something to do with the damage profiles, depending on who is in your squad. But it went from 2-shotting to strip the leg armor off, charge it, bam, swap to your main, get them out of there. To 4 or 5 shots, and you have to edge that sucker. You have to edge that sucker in your own suicide consistently to at least get 4 taps on it and get that leg armor off. And that's pretty much, you're going to be wasting just a bit more ammo in order to get a weak spot going. At the same time, you have to juggle the mobs of enemies that are flooding in just to peel a scab back on one fucking charger. And you have to worry about his other 3, maybe 4 brothers that's just on your ass trying to get to you. Or, of course, you're in a squad, so they're going to help you out too. So you can easily, it's not impossible. It's not impossible. I'm going to get to that. Now, the eats easily just flew the top spot. It's always been a top spot, but now it's been a more go-to approach if you want to quickly call it down, quick dump into the enemy so you can expose a weak spot, either on the Bob Titan or the Charger over, say, the recoilers. Because let's just be honest, I think safely speak for PS5 players and say a large portion of us or weirdos. We're just socially awkward. We're not trying to get into a random game. Not all of us. We're not trying to get into a random game and just communicate. We want to kind of it's kind of like you got to know what you're doing. I know what I'm doing, and it'll just work. Those who know what I mean, you know what I mean. Okay. Each top spot, easy choice, quick cooldowns. You don't have to worry about increase stratagem cooldowns that much. The recoil is amazing with the team reload. You're gonna have to wait for like at least 1 or 2 business days if you reload that sucker by yourself. And at that point, you're gonna have to carefully. Every shot has to matter. If you're reloading it by yourself, you miss. You just gonna have to pull out the autocannon stratagem and just get them out your way so you can give you time to work on the mobs around you that's gonna be trying to surround you, and the annoying hunter squads that are in this game. I bring them suckers back, dial them back just a tad, because trying to go at it and you just hear you know what I mean when I say you hear the chirps in the background and you turn your camera and it's damn near 10 hunters just right behind you that just so happen to know your location and blipped into existence and patrolled to that specific spot. Ain't no amount of running is gonna help you at that point, because they can clear a whole football field when it comes to that melee lunge, which is crazy. I think if you want to keep the frequency of hunters melee lunge, cool, but kind of reduce the distance of when it activates. Can you at least do that? At least do that. Okay, great. Because that 1-2 and that 2 being the little lick and put the acid on you and slows you. I don't know who thought of that. I don't know what you smoking on either, but okay, for the sake of difficulty, okay, that's fine. I just think the reduced range for when they do the melee, for when they do the lunge, is slightly reduced. That way you can either get to a comfortable position so we can turn around and deal with them before they hit you with the melee, and then throw your reticle into the stratosphere or into the earth away from them always. I just think that would be nice. Flamethrower, a bunch of suicidal arsonists out there in the Helldivers community. I just think some of you Helldivers are a little crazy. Having the double incendiary combo with the grenade or the triple with the grenade, the flamethrower, and the napalm stratagem. You gonna kill us, especially when fire has been increased from all sources. So I don't know if anybody noticed, but if you go over to the automaton section of the galaxy, the mechs that have the bruisers that have the flamethrower equipped on that one arm, that thing is a one tap regardless. It doesn't care what armor you sitting at. If it just breezes past you, and you're gonna catch on fire. That's it. You're not gonna be able to tap the stem button fast enough to heal yourself from that, to keep from down from the tick damage. It's that strong, and I just think that really just adds to the overall overtuned difficulty of automatons. And I haven't even talked about the automatons yet. Anything else would have been nice instead of the nerfs, but we adapt, we overcome, we Helldivers, right? Flamethrower, it's like I got a love-hate relationship with you Helldivers that run flamethrower, because you're gonna serve to get yourself killed, but I guess in the name of liberty, right? Or you're gonna get somebody else on fire because they stepped on just a little lit area that you've put a set ablaze, and we're either gonna take some of that damage and then get jumped on. I know I'm just talking shit at this point, and just get licked on by get licked on by a hunter and just proceed to get gangbanged by everybody in the vicinity. So at that point, it's best to just stay behind you guys and let y'all do y'all thing, until a damn brave hunter just leapfrogs over that and just catches on fire, melees you, catch you on fire, and then you dead. But hey, for the name for in the name of democracy, hey, autocannon. I I find this weird because it. I, I'm gonna talk my shit because like that one dev that got on that Discord talking all that shit about us being brainless and yada yada yada. I'm sorry, I'm sorry you have a damn autocannon and an autocannon turret that does the same, that dishes out the same round, don't do the same thing for some odd reason. What, I guess it just flings that sucker harder because the autocannon doesn't penetrate armor, but the turret version does. Mind you, same caliber rifling, which is so weird to me. Which is so weird. I can understand if there was like, it's good, but it's like you got to hit it at the right angle. It's not. That's not even the case at that point. So it's like, okay, and then you have the weak spots, that being the booty of the charger and the big glowing booty of the vomit bug. Like, okay, those are designed to just, that's like, they're designed to really get you in trouble at that point, because it's in our monkey brains, we see something big glowing, we automatically assume it is the big weak spot that we have to go for. The little neuron activation, we go for it, and only to find, okay, well, that don't work. Now what? Yeah, you can take it out and cause the bleed out effect, but it's like, that's weird too, because you take it out, it starts the bleed out process. Okay, it's done in like 10, maybe 15 seconds to like maybe 2 whole minutes that it bleeds out. So it's like, okay, now what? It's always best to strip the armor off the leg, which I think it should have done that before. Like something, it should be doing it. And then I think the autocannon should have been belt fed instead of team reload. But maybe that's too much like right. So nevertheless, autocannon buff and damage, cool, not a problem. The railgun, after the update, at least they didn't nerf the damage, and it should have been doing that from the start, how they wanted to do it now. But the level between the edging, the edging with the type of damage that you want to dish out and straight committing suicide is either too high or too damn close. And you got to have good connection if you want to get that good damage. But then again, I think that if you just get it past, bam, you hit it, you charge it up to the threshold, and then go just a little bit above, you're solid at that point. You're just solid. Just, there's nothing else you can do. And just try not to, oh, and always do it in first person, because instead of having the charge meter be somewhere on the screen that you can visually see the gauge, or you can be able to gauge like how high the charge is from it exploding, instead of it being on the weapon that you could barely see, even when you're in first person. And I think it should have had like a better reticle or better optic, instead of it being like a little dot that it's hard to try and track or be on target with. I don't know, it's weird. I would say it's still really good. It's still a top choice amongst Helldivers. I think it still is. But I just think it's nice to be able to experiment and try other weapons that you haven't normally used. And the only reason why I chose to finally play with other weapons is because they finally have the damage buff needed to be able to combat armored enemies. The spear, I want to love this thing. I really do. I really want to love using the spear, but that lock on, my goodness, I don't know what it wants to do. It's like it's trolling you at this point. It is. You I thought it was 30 meters away to get a target activation. Something. Apparently from further use. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, somebody, but I think the lock on scales off the target. I think so. So say for instance you're looking at a charger, you're gonna possibly want to be 30 to possibly 40 and above away from it for it to activate. Anything above that, it's not gonna do nothing. Or at the same time, it wants to, for some odd reason, snipe. It can somehow snipe from across the map, literally from the other end. And or you're looking at the bow titan, you want to be like 80 to 90 meters away in order for it to lock on. But it's weird. It could be, for some odd reason, it does really well when you're, I don't know. I don't know if it's bugged, but when you're, I would say 20 meters and closer, then it wants to start to lock on consistently. You know, uh, 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 it's weird, and it's it it too suffers from the damage inconsistencies as well. Sometimes a Bio Titan could take one shot to two shots, or it could eat a whole pack, like I said, stated earlier in the video. The laser cannon, I still don't know the use for it. You would think a literal laser cannon, it just doesn't help with stripping armor. I don't know. I'm not taking it. I can't use it. What would have been a better update would be just iron out the bugs and the crashing, because right now I don't know if anybody even is talking about it, but you possibly playing on Helldive difficulty, you're basically signing yourself up for like a damn near guaranteed 1 to 2 crash like an hour, due to all the stuff that's being thrown at you. The frequency of enemies from both sides just thrown at you in any given engagement is wild. So I just think either tone down. Well, I think they already did say they're gonna tone down the frequency. Cool. And let the tougher enemies just be more of an encounter. Like, max them out at 3. Let's say 3 Bio Titans, maybe even 2 Bio Titans, and like 2 charges at a time, because getting hit, and I've also seen enemies blip into existence literally right in front of me. So it's like you could kill one Bio Titan, bam, another one will blip in right behind it as it's dying to take its place, and now you have everything on cooldown. What do you do at that point? Now you just run around. You just keep running and running and running and running, and you got to wait up to like maybe 10, 15 minutes to get the right stuff back from cooldown. I think damage buffs to everything around the railgun, a better tweak to the railgun high risk, high reward strat when it comes to using it in unsafe mode. You have no business at this point using a railgun in safe mode at this point. Grenade launcher, I would say it's cool for taking out the little vomit bugs and destroying the exposed weak spot on the charger, and taking out hive nests That's what I think it's good for. Or maybe because at that point I would take an autocannon over that anytime for getting clearing out for the simple fact that damage, the AOE, the ammo capacity, being able to take out nests from afar, being able to take out groups of enemies at the same time without having to waste ammo charges in the or wasting the resupply drop. But then again, it's all depends on the diver. Can't really talk shit. I just respect the strategies that you, my fellow Helldivers, want to employ during any given engagement. But anyways, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. I'm out.